Brian Powell of I Run Far here with Katie Schide before the 2022 UTMB. How are you, Katie?
I'm doing okay, Brian. It's good to see you again.
Likewise. How are you doing before this year's race?
I feel pretty good this year. It feels nice to actually be doing races consecutively, one year after another without
Yeah.
the long break.
Yeah, so you've had a break in there, but what have you run? 3 different races here at the UTMB festival?
I've done
CC
UTMB
twice.
twice and CCC.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And you've had consistent success. You were second at CCC, 2 top 10s at UTMB. It's such a high profile, huge race. How do you find that consistency?
Yeah, I think that on paper it looks pretty consistent and good. I think there's a lot of stories behind all those results, of course. CCC was definitely a really memorable race in my mind. It was kind of one of my first big results. And then after that, unfortunately, my last 2 UTMBs, the story behind those numbers on paper is that they were not that great.
Yeah.
And so I'm hoping to find a little bit more fun on the course on Friday.
Regardless of result?
Yeah, regardless of result, of placing
Yeah.
result. I would, of course, love to improve my time. I did not improve my time from 2019 to 2021. And I feel like it doesn't do justice to the amount of training and preparation I'd done in those 2 years. But hopefully this year will show a little bit more.
So you're looking to have that day that you know that you're proud of and you got everything you could out of it.
Exactly.
Yeah. So one thing I've noticed, I don't know if it was just this past year, but have you started doing more skiing during the winter and really focusing on that more?
I've always skied quite a bit in the winter. Yeah. In the past, I haven't focused on as much the performance or racing side of skiing. And this year, with my partner Jean, we said, it'd be really cool to really just try to do more racing and really actually put the focus on skiing instead of running. In the past, skiing was the kind of background sport, and it was still running was really the main focus. So this year we said, okay, let's put the focus on skiing, see if it's something we like, because it is something that we love to do. And yeah, where we live, it just makes more sense than running in the winter, honestly.
And did you end up enjoying making it a competitive portion of your schedule?
Yeah, I really enjoyed approaching it with a more focused mindset this year than in the past, where it was sort of oh, we're going to do a race, cool, and kind of planning the week before. And now it's okay, I want to do these races and have it a bit more planned out. And yeah, I had a really great winter. I'm really happy with all the things I learned from the Skimo race season and trying to bring a little of that to running.
And how was that transition from ski season, since there was more focus on the competitive side, into the running season?
Yeah, it gives you a bit more of a bump to get over to get into running, especially the downhills. I definitely put on muscle in different places on my legs and kind of getting the body to maybe get rid of the less useful muscles and get the more useful muscles. And yeah, you feel a bit awkward for a few weeks, but after that it came back pretty quickly.
And that fitness transfers pretty well.
Yeah, I think so. But also I just, as everyone says, I think it's a nice mental break to come back to running and just be really excited to go running and not okay, I have to go running.
Yeah. How does that transition work for you? I mean, anybody who lives high in the mountains with great access to skiing, there tends to be mud season. So how does that transition work in reality?
I'm going to tell you a secret. We don't have mud season where we live. So
no mud season.
This is a hot tip. Come visit us. No, it's really, we live in a really dry, sunny place. So once the snow melts, it's generally dry straight away once the snow's gone because we have so much sun.
How dreamy.
Yeah.
So on paper, at least with easily accessible databases, it doesn't look like you've raced much at all this year. But you tend to race pretty consistently. How has your 2022 season gone?
Yeah, so I've done 2 races so far this year. I did the maxi race marathon. It was a little less than marathon, actually. And then I did the Val d'Aran 100K. And yeah, it's true. Normally I would do a few more, especially smaller races, shorter in distance. But this year we're supposed to do the Mute in April, but we got COVID just 2 weeks before, so we had to make the decision not to go. So that kind of pushed our whole race season back quite a bit. And then the other big race that I finished this year was I finished my PhD thesis in June. So that kind of blocked off a few weeks where I wasn't going to be
You focused on another ultra marathon.
It was another big performance. So yeah, in that way I've done 3 races this year.
And how long was that ultra marathon of the PhD?
It was an ultra. I cut it down to, I almost didn't make the time barrier.
Oh.
So it was just under 6 years total.
Yeah, how do you balance that, like that education and work?
I think,
and then like running.
I get the like, how do you balance it question a lot, and I think the answer is that I didn't balance it. I just prioritized running most of the time, honestly, and of course something has to suffer when you do that. But towards the end, actually, getting COVID gave me like a week or two where I really cracked down on riding a lot because I just couldn't do anything else.
And what was the exciting thesis of your dissertation?
So I was studying landslides caused by earthquakes in Nepal. So that was my project.
Your big focus, yeah. Cool. And we talked a little bit about it, but like, what do you hope comes out of this weekend?
I just hope to leave Chamonix with like positive feelings. Like I did the best I could. I actually was in the race mentally and physically from start to finish. Of course, there's gonna be some really crappy moments, but to still feel bad, of course, that's gonna happen, but then still be in the race. I think I've let myself kind of exit the race before, and just want to feel satisfied with my performance.
All right. Well, best of luck with that.
Thanks.
Enjoy.